How's it going, everybody, on this Wednesday night, the 10th of December? It's a night where me, as a Liverpool fan, I haven't tasted a win in, I think, about 3 game weeks. Sad times. But we are undefeated in four. So I mean, four in our last 4 games. So I guess it's all about perspective. But things aren't going so well. It's not really about what's happening on the pitch. It's more what's happening off it. I have my friend Hamza here, Chelsea supporter. He's going to be my ear, and I'm going to be his ear because this is a therapy session. We want all of the Liverpool fans in the chat to get involved. We want all the Chelsea fans in the chat to be involved because this is just a therapy session. It's a safe space. Whatever you want to say, just say it. Hamza, how are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I needed this therapy session as well. Obviously you get closer. I'm gonna get closer to my brother, the corner flag Nawaz here, but also I'm gonna let things off my chest. Things that have been bowing me with frustration and aggression and anger that I've been taking out on other parts of my life. Why do I need to do that when I have Nawaz here for my therapy session? So yeah, we're
Exactly,
gonna do some
exactly.
Chelsea therapy. We're gonna do some, and most importantly, we're gonna do some Liverpool therapy because by the comments already and by the look on Nawaz's face, you guys need to let it all out. So I'm here to help you do all of that.
Indeed, indeed. So I think before we get probably, oh, I see Nikhil even wants to say a few words. So I guess before I get into it, we'll let one of the viewers, also known as Sing on the Cup, to say a few words. For the YouTube, it'll be like almost we are bringing in a caller as if we are on Talk Sports. So I'm going to ask Hamza to go on mute because I'm going to use our TikTok audio. So whatever you say, it will be picked up on the TikTok audio. So I'm going to bring Sing on the Cup on the panel here on TikTok just to say one or two things. And then
So
yeah,
me
let's
on
let's hear what he
YouTube,
has to
you
say.
saying for me?
Yeah, so you know what? I'll even mute you, so don't even worry about it. Your TikTok though will be your TikTok will be heard. I'm gonna mute myself here also. Uh, well, 1 second. Yeah, okay. Sing on the Cup. Okay, let's hear what Sing on the Cup has to say.
What's up? What's up? What's happening?
How's it going? How's it going? What's your thoughts on this fine evening? We have a therapy session.
Well, I made a video about Inter Milan and their unbeaten run, 18 games at home, unbeaten in the Champions League, and then Liverpool, the most unlikely team to get a clean sheet and a win away. We do it at the ground where people are holding records. Can only be Liverpool.
But that's been the story of our season. It's not just them. I think Atletico were also having a very good start to the season,
Yeah.
and then we ended up winning them also.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first thing I'd say is you got what you wanted. That 4-4-2, that diamond, that Isak and Ekitike together up front. And you know what? In the first half was one of the best football I saw us actually play. I was actually like surprised at how quick we were moving the ball. Jones became like a 99 agility, 99 balance type player. I'm like, what's happening here, man? It was really, really good to see. I mean, we really played well. Everyone was like intact, and especially in the first half, we were moving the ball quickly, trying to creating chances, taking shots outside the box. Oh my gosh!
But how strong is that formation though? Like,
It was strong. It worked. It like Isak and Ekitike complemented each other. I feel Liverpool didn't play wingers. Liverpool just played a whole back line out behind the strikers were just midfielders. They had McAllister was there, Soboslai was there, Jones was there, Gravenberch, everybody. We played Liverpool. That's why our bench had lucky because everyone was on the pitch.
exactly, exactly. You see, like Madrid started off. You know why people? Because I told people we played like how Madrid played back in 2017, but they were telling me, but Ronaldo and Bale were there, and they played with wingers. But if you can remember, it was Ronaldo and Bale almost as if they were right and left strikers. Right, Benzema almost as like a number 10. Isco was the left central. You had Cruz and Modric in there with Casemiro. So that's the diamond I'm referring to.
100%. And I mean, they had so much of players where Cruz, Modric, Casemiro, if they may be just having a bad game, you've got Isco coming in and just hitting those passes to them, which was so clean. It's feeding it on a plate. Look, for Liverpool overall, I think we deserve the win anyway. I think Somo made one two really good saves again for Soboslai's shot. I think it was Gravenberch's shot. In the second half, I did get a bit worried because they grew in confidence, especially after. Look, that goal that was like on the fence for standing or not. Liverpool fans probably say that it should have stood. Other people are saying no. The thing that irritated me was the VAR took so long and then called the ref. It was like the ref's like, okay, you know what, let me flip a coin. It's going to go either or for him.
Yeah,
Every time when they showed it to us, they showed a different angle. When they showed the ref looking at it, they showed another angle. So I'm like, what are you going to show here? First, it was Ekitike hitting it with his arm, then Van Dijk heading it on Ekitike's arm. And when they slow motion it with the ball touching the arm, it's like they just go automatically handball. But in that motion, I believe Ekitike's hand was not in an unnatural place. He had it where it needed to be. He couldn't take his hand somewhere else. So
yeah. It is a controversial one. That's why I think the result still was a fair one, because even our penalty we got was a bit controversial.
Look, it was, but at the end of the day, they did the slow motion for that as well. He pulled his shirt for enough amount of time. Yes, he hit a little bit of a theatrics there, but he knew what he was doing. You pull my shirt, this is going to be the pass.
Yeah. No, because he was always going to get the ball, but then
nowadays you can pull the shirt and get the penalty. But when Doku's karate kicking, McAllister has no pen. That's okay.
Yeah, there's too much inconsistencies.
They did grow in confidence. In the second half, I got a bit worried when Barella and Frazzeri, I think, was just running through the midfield. And then one or two link-ups with Lautaro and Thuram was worrying me a little bit there as they grew in confidence as well. The crossing wasn't really working for them, except when Lautaro got, at the end of the first half, when Lautaro absolutely beat Van Dijk for the header, I was like, this is a save, Alisson. I don't think Mamadishvili makes that save, honestly.
Yeah. No, for sure. Tell me, are you going to be joining us anytime soon on StreamYard as well, or?
I'm going to try. I'm really going to try too. I said, let me just hop on you on the TikTok and talk about Liverpool just before you started, as I was just seeing what's happening.
Because today's session is basically a therapy session for Liverpool and Chelsea fans. So obviously we're going through a tough situation about what's happening off the pitch, but we're going to be talking to Hamza here also, because Chelsea FC haven't been winning games. Yeah, Chelsea haven't been winning games here. A bit of a shambles. I don't know. Maybe you can ask Hamza the first question there.
That's a different story now. I think
ask Hamza the first question there.
They were just like, no, you go for the ball. No, you go for the ball. Okay, I'll just walk right through.
Where do we even begin, Nikhil? Where do we even begin?
Yo, but look, like my brothers who play FIFA, they were like, I need Atletico to win and Barca to win. And like, Barca just always do it, bro. They'll be losing in the first half. Second half, you look at the score. Goal. Kunde becomes freaking Mr. Hero for them.
Yeah.
And, crazy. But I think just touching on that City and Madrid game, I think Mbappe pushed himself to be fit for this game now.
Yeah, I heard so. He's gonna be there.
He was supposed to be out.
Yeah.
But overall for the Liverpool performance, that Steven Gerrard type celebration from Soboslai was just like, it hit me like, I've seen Gerrard do that, calm and composed.
Steven Gerrard. Hey, Shezi, how's it going, my bro? In the kill, you probably know Shezi from your end.
Yeah. Therefore, we did deserve a bit. I think nothing, at least something out of that game, because overall we did play better than them.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised. Let's just hope that Slot keeps this going into the next.
That's what I was saying also. So I have a feeling this was a temporary fix, because there was no Salah, there was no Gakpo, there was no Chiesa.
His favorite, his darling son Gakpo, was injured.
Yeah.
The one he hates the most, where he was probably celebrating Chiesa's in sickness. He was happy with that.
Yeah.
But I think the moment Gakpo comes back, he might go back to that. But the thing is, Slot has played a team that wins sometimes. Like when we played that same formation where Verts played off the left, I think, when we beat Real Madrid, we played the same team against City.
Yeah. Listen, I want to definitely talk about this more in depth with you. So let's wait until you come onto the StreamYard and we'll chat properly about this.
Yeah.
Because right now we are live on StreamYard.
I've got questions for you, Nikhil, as well.
Yeah, so finish up what you're doing, Nikhil, so you can come on the StreamYard.
Alright, ciao.
Okay, see you now. That was Nikhil Singh on the Cop. For those who are wondering, make sure you go follow him as well. One of our panel members. And then let's bring Hamza back off mute here on StreamYard. Hamza, test 1 2. How we doing?
Yo, hello, can you hear me?
We do. We're all good. Yeah, Nikhil, very passionate Liverpool fan, as you can see. Very passionate footy fan. The story about Barcelona and Real Madrid and Atletico. I'm sure you have about Kaiser Chiefs also, if we kept him going on for a bit more. But yeah, he did pose a question there to you. He was talking about Chelsea's midfield mess ups that happened last night. Tell me more about that.
So it's interesting because as soon as I saw Caicedo starting, I was like, huh, we're back to normal now. Caicedo fits in there, he fits in like a glove. And for the first 30, 40 minutes, he did, right? There seems to be a lot less attacking creativity, though. That was what
Yeah.
hit me like a brick. Was before Caicedo came in, I was thinking, all we need is Caicedo. We win games with Caicedo, it's fine. But there has been a distinct lack of creativity at Bournemouth away, at Leeds away, and now at Atalanta away. There's just a distinct lack of creativity. I mean, people will say because Cole Palmer's not there, but before Cole Palmer wasn't there, we still were creative. But without him and Estevao, it seems like Garnacho just runs straight at you. Neto just runs straight at you and just whips it in, and you haven't got to. Even though he did score a goal today, yesterday, João Pedro, he's not that sort of striker that's going to get on the end of cross like that. He's probably like more of a cutback, more of a playing in that 10 position role. I don't know, man. Yesterday was a sad performance in the sense that we were just like, it's a tough place to go. I would have taken a draw, to be honest, but the way that, as Nikhil very rightly said, the way we just let De Ketelaere come and let him come, and then he shot, then that was obviously going to happen. And he had a really, really good game. But the distinct lack of creativity, that was there for anyone to see. Even a blind man could see how uncreative we were. And Jamie Gittins, when he gets the ball, he's not direct enough, but I think he's our most skillful winger in terms of being able to be tricky and able to beat somebody one-on-one that's not just pace, that's with dribbling, that's with a bit of skill. And I think that he needs to show that a bit more, and we need to feed him the ball a lot more, because we were going down the right towards Neto's side when there was so many times we could have gone down Gittins' side, and you could tell there's like a lot of people within our team that just are not very confident with that left side when Garnacho's not there, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of things to pick out from yesterday's performance, to be honest.
And obviously more rotations from MARESCA. It makes me beg the question to, with all the team selections lately, he was being praised as the manager that could still win trophies, and he's proven it. He's won trophies while doing these crazy rotations, not really having a starting 11 that's been consistent for like 5 games in a row, sort of thing, where at least 8 or 9 out of the players are still the same. Tell me, like with MARESCA, like what's happened now? Because obviously the wins aren't showing. If you check Chelsea's form lately, it's just grey and red. Grey for the draws, red for the losses. What's happening? What's happening with MARESCA?
Yeah, I mean it's a sticky one, right? Because there's a balance of like, he's really good at rotation, that the player that was super injured and was the only bad thing about him was injury before MARESCA came is now constantly fit. And who I'm talking about is obviously Reece James, right? And there's other players. First of all, you got to look at it like this. He's had a massive squad ever since he's come from Chelsea. He's trying to make sure that there's no poisonous players within those teams. There's no toxicity from not playing, but players still want to come to the club. Like, he's dealing with a difficult situation, right? The system stays the same. This isn't he has fullbacks that come into midfield, whether it's Gusto, whether it's Cucurella, whether it's Reece James at times, whether it's Achimpong at times, right? But you know what the problem is? The problem is they're 2 damn centre-backs, right? Every game they're chopping and changing. You look at the strongest defences in the world right now, you look at Arsenal. When they're on it, right, it's Gabriel Saliba. Even when it's not Gabriel Saliba, it's Saliba and Mosquera, or Saliba and Hincapi. Right? Obviously now they're both injured. I think William Saliba's coming back. But my point is, you cannot constantly change, right, those centre-backs. And I think Achampong's been pretty good. Fofana's been pretty good. Chalobah and Adebayo have too many mistakes in them. And you give them enough time to screw up, boy, will they screw up. Right, so when you have that, like, I don't even think Sanchez maybe could have saved the second shot, but it was like in the box, he's fired at him. But like, why is no one pressing up on him? Why is no one going towards him? For example, Cucurella, he didn't have the best game yesterday. I'm seeing people on Twitter and stuff being like, oh, we should drop Cucurella. He's got no competition for his place. Who the hell is the other left back that's gonna play a left back? Really, it's maybe Joel Hato. Right, but you've got to feed him into it because he's a 19-year-old. Same with Estevao, right? And this is a big problem I have with MARESCA is we are lacking creativity when Cole Palmer's not playing. In the last 2 games, we've been super uncreative. And I know Estevao has played those games. We need creativity. He's the only one that can be a little bit more creative, that can come inside and be a little bit more connected with Enzo Fernandez, with Moises Caicedo, with João Pedro. He can do that the most. Why is he not playing more games? And I know he's 18 and this is just the start of his career, but he can play more than 45. He can play more than 45 minutes. He absolutely can't play more than 45 minutes. So I'm more annoyed about the Leeds game and the Bournemouth game. The Atalanta game, you can lose those games, but it's just a consistent theme of slow, no creativity and no connection. But those two damn centre backs, that's a problem. But I do think there's times where it could be Fofana and Chalobah where it's really good, or Fofana and Badiashile I think is pretty good. If I was Maresca, I would just keep Fofana and keep Badiashile and have that as my centre back pairing going for the next month or so, right? I really believe that would be the solution. But Badiashile hasn't played enough, and he obviously doesn't trust him enough. But yeah, man, there's loads of problems. But yes, it wasn't a great performance, but those sort of things happen.
Mm. And, going through some of the chats, also we got a message from Nsindiso Dube. Maresca is too tactical for his own good. Do you agree with that?
I understand why you would say that, but I mean, on the opposite side, you've beaten Liverpool twice with Maresca, which basically never happened before him. You've beaten Barcelona 3-0 at home. You've beaten PSG 3-0 in the Club World Cup final, off the back of being the super team, the best team since Barcelona 2011. So it comes with its peaks and its troughs. You know what? It doesn't come with its peaks and its troughs. December for Chelsea Football Club. Every single year since 2017, this damn December has just killed us off. And this year has started like every other December. Lost, draw, lost. You know? So, yeah, man. It's peak times. And you know why it's peak? Because we have so many games that if you have a great December, the rest of the season is amazing. Look at Villa. I know there's only been a couple games in December, but this period since the international break, they've had loads of games where they've played well. And because they've had loads of games, they're now title challengers, right? But because Chelsea are playing poor in a time where you have loads of games, it can completely derail your season. And I just hope that it does. I think it's already probably derailed the Premier League, right? Unless something magic changes. But I don't think it's derailed the Champions League. I don't think it has. And that's the lucky part, is that we only play one more Champions League game this month. You know, and it's at Paphos at home, which is a game that we should be winning.
Yeah, I noticed something that the Champions League is quite deep into it already, right? Like there's only 2 games left, I think, remaining in the group stages. So Chelsea find themselves right now City at 11th. I think level on points with Manchester City, but Manchester City haven't yet played. So obviously you are looking in a knockout position right now instead of going into automatic qualification past the round of I think 32. Round of 32 first and round of 16.
We have to beat Paphos and Napoli now, I think, to have any chance.
Yeah. You'll have to. And the thing is, if you don't finish within that automatic qualification, it means that you all play an extra you'll play an extra Champions League game in the week where you're going to be versing Arsenal again.
Yeah.
Arsenal. Yeah. Because Arsenal, I think, in between your game and Spurs is that Champions League game. If whoever's playing that Champions League, they're going to be playing it in between that game. Yeah. So it's a bit of a crazy situation in the Champions League. It's looking tight there as well. Just going to respond to 1 or 2 of the comments in the chat. Arsenal fans are the only ones who need therapy. Okay, cool. I think there was another question here. Soccer is so sus. The man's wants always to press. Oh my word. I think you were saying something about pressing, and then you were just saying something there. Okay, cool. I have one more question for you. Obviously a few more, but my next question is: has Chelsea overachieved thus far under Maresca? Because this team currently isn't meeting the expectations that the fans and I would say the outer media and maybe even rival fans have set on this team. Like all those expectations, it was not really meeting after being crowned Club World Cup champions.
Yeah. Well, I think context is important, right? Because if you just played it on no context, what you'd see is Chelsea finished in the top 4, they won the Conference League, and they won the Club World Cup, right? Unbelievable season. What you won't see is that we were 1 point away from Liverpool. If we'd beaten Everton at Goodison Park, we would have been above Liverpool, right, in December of 2024, right? But you see top 4, so you think Champions League, that's great. Conference League, that's great. Club World Cup, that's great, right? So I think context is important. The expectations from Chelsea fans, realistically, right, was to go from top 4 in Conference League last year to now being, can we challenge? Not can we win, but can we challenge? Can we be there and genuinely be in a conversation? Because for a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, we find it a bit irritating that Chelsea, when people talk about title challenges, they go Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and then they start talking about Aston Villa. Start talking about Aston Villa before they start talking about Chelsea, which I think is pretty disrespectful, right? But it's like, realistically, what are neutral fans going on about? They're going on about the fact that Chelsea haven't actually challenged for a title in maybe since 21-22, and before then, since they won the league in 2016-17. We've not shown consistency for a long period of time. So the expectation really is, can we be consistent in getting results, playing the football that Maresca wants to play, right? That's it. And he proved it last year that he can, right, in the first 3 months, but can you continue to do that? Now Cole Palmer's back. And now you've got a couple of other players back. I know Delap's not going to be out for as long as we think he is. We just need to put a string of results together. It doesn't really matter about playing unbelievable football. I think it's about getting a string of results together and then learning how to play like really good football. You just got to look at PSG last year. PSG got to a point where they were terrible, and then they started to play well together, and then they could beat anybody, right? So I'm kind of going against my own point, because it's not really about just the results. It's, can we use this time to be really good at football? Because we have all this like talent there to be good at football. Can we put it all together? Maresca find all the solutions, because we could really have a great end of the season if he's able to do that. But the time is now. There's no more time to wait, because if we wait any longer, we'll be out of all these competitions, or we'll be out of serious contention in terms of confidence in our own mind of can we go further on in these competitions.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, like, because even with PSG last season, that's a good point, because I would say it was beginning of 2024 when they truly started, getting wind into their sails, when they became this powerhouse. Because similarly, they were also on the brink of not qualifying, not forget going to automatic qualification into the round of 16. They were almost on the brink of not qualifying for the next round of the Champions League. They almost never made it out of the group stages, and now they went on to go win the entire thing. I feel like in football in general now, football fans in general, it's like they have short-term memory more now than ever before, including myself. I'm not saying I'm innocent here, because even like the whole Arne slot out situation, you look at it now. It's only been 15 games in the Premier League this season. That's not even half yet. And we not even made it past the group stages in the Champions League, and people are calling for Arne Slot's head already. Like, the guy hasn't yet.
It's embarrassing.
It is, you've been saying that also. You've been saying that. And if you look at it, it's like the guy hasn't even yet faced the consequences of the terrible performances yet. Obviously, The league, you can maybe say the league is gone. As much as it's not mathematically gone yet, like, we all know how it goes. So he hasn't yet faced that consequence. Champions League, he hasn't yet faced the consequence of getting knocked out because of all of the terrible performances. So I think you can only maybe call for his head once the consequence of the terrible performances has been there already. So I feel like even at Chelsea, I think Maresca, this is his third season now, maybe?
Second.
Did he come like in the beginning of that first season, or did he come mid-season?
No, he came at the start of 24-25.
Oh, okay. Now then, he's still also quite early into his.
That's the thing. That's exactly the thing. Because if you say to somebody, and this is what Maresca says in all of his press conferences, is that last year we're not title contenders. Our goal is to go for the title in 26-27, right? And I believe next season, like, we'll actually properly go for it, right? Because another year of maturity, whatever, right? You've got to think he's been at Chelsea for less than 18 months. I think he's been at Chelsea for 16 months. 17 months maybe.
Yep.
He's got top four in the He's got top four in the Premier League, right? Which is something that we hadn't done for 3 years. He's won the Conference League, right? Which is just the Conference League. He's won the Club World Cup, right? Against the biggest teams in the world. He's done all those 3 things. He's put Chelsea in proper conversations again, and people are now going, "Oh, as you said, has Maresca lost the plot?" What I would say is, have you lost the plot? But then I'm not saying you, I'm saying modern fans. If you lost the plot, because you lose one game and it's like a crisis. You win 2 games and you're the best team in the world again. You know? Look at Aston Villa. They've started playing properly. They went from being in the bottom 3 to being 2 points away from being at the top of the table. So things happen really quickly. Your team's just got to play a lot better. And I trust Maresca to be able to do that. But it's just peak in this moment when he hasn't proved to you that he hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, to me personally, I said Maresca has already also gained enough credit. Similarly to Arne Slot winning the Premier League, I would say winning the Conference League and the Club World Cup means you should be secure. You don't get sacked the following season if you're Maresca, because you've proven it. And also some big performances against big teams as well. You keep on mentioning, the PSG game, the Liverpool game. Have you all won Manchester City or Arsenal yet under Maresca? Genuine question.
I don't think so. I think we've drawn every game against Arsenal, and then we lost against. We lost against City 3-1 and 2-0. Yeah, and then we played them in January. We haven't beat either of them.
I think those are some tests he needs to win as well.
Yeah,
Maresca.
the Man City one in January was like, any Chelsea fans in the chat, I don't even know if there are, but if there's any Chelsea fans in the chat, you'll know how shameful it was in January of this year. The performance when Robert Sanchez went running to the edge of the box to tackle Erling Haaland. The way Madueke was hugging the wing when there was so much space inside and Maresca didn't tell him to play inside. The fact that we didn't attack that game when Jackson was like, "Oh, Kusanov, it's okay, it's your first game." That little bit, I think he's learned a lot from, but that was embarrassing. So next time we play City, inshallah we beat him.
I mean. I want to just respond to some of the comments again in the chat. We got one from Josh. Ever since Chelsea got the American ownership, it went downhill.
But that's just a clueless thing to say. That's an absolutely clueless thing to say because Abramovich got forced to get rid of his club because of some stupid sanction, based on a war that's not happening even in England. But he got told to get rid of the club, right? Some guy came in and has changed the way that this project is run completely. So people who say that the American ownership took them downhill, you can say that in like 2028, 2020, 27, 2028, because their whole thing is like a long-term plan. After 5 years, you can really go for it. But if you're saying it went downhill, like there's not even been results enough to show that. And even the results that they have shown is stability, top 4 team, beat big teams in the world, So if anyone's saying that it went downhill, I think you've kind of lost it. And we got Cole Palmer. We've got Cole Palmer, Caicedo, and Esteval, and Kendry Paez, and Quenda. Like, these players were not going to come under Abramovich and under Marina Granovskaya. They were not going to come, So, yeah.
I won't lie. Let me just say, someone's calling me. I don't know if it's going to take my audio out from TikTok. Let me just... I'm not going to answer it. Just going to decline it. Okay.
Reagan, we will get to Liverpool. We're just doing a soft launch with Chelsea. Then I'm going to give Noah some help on Liverpool. And you'll get his full thoughts. By the way, you're
back.
And you're on pause now.
Yeah. I should be back now?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, cool. We just have a therapy session with Hamza first. Once Hamza is done, then we'll talk about Liverpool. Mr. Regan, as you also mentioned, What was there was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, just to play devil's advocate, I would say Chelsea stopped becoming a European powerhouse when Abramovich left. I think when Todd Bowley came in and started buying half the world, and y'all couldn't get a consistent starting 11, I would say that was the turning point when Chelsea became a little less serious.
I mean, I can hear that because we evidently had to go that way because when a new ownership comes in, they want to do it a different way. Like, they got rid of Thomas Tuchel when in reality they shouldn't have got rid of him because they wanted their own guy in Graham Potter or in a different manager, right? So of course you had to go 2 steps back to go 3 steps forward. But for actual fans, because I know there's actual fans out there, they think Chelsea are in a worse position now than when they were under Roman Abramovich. Like, that's just absolutely not true. Like, we are set up to be the best team in the league over the next 5, 6, 7 years because of what Todd Bowley and Bedard Egbali have done. Some of the things that Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart have done in terms of the recruitment is stupid. Like, why are we spending 40 million on Disasi? Buddy Shield I don't think is a bad. Like, I think he'll like to turn out to be pretty good. But there's been Amari Kellyman, bought him for 20 mil. He's still on our books. He's never played a game for us. David Datro Fofana. There's been loads of little weird ones within that, but I think overall you're going to see Chelsea are going to be the new face of, not the new face of football, but this new era of football. Chelsea are going to be a big part of that conversation. You just wait and see.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Some promises there. I got another question for you here. So, we're just talking about Chelsea's achievements under Maresca and stuff, and not meeting expectations because of obviously having such a good start. I would say it's a good start considering where Chelsea were when Maresca picked them up after the likes of Pochettino, Potter, and Lampard. Kind of made them go that 2 steps back, like you say. I think Maresca now made them come forward again.
Yeah.
The trophies for Chelsea this season. obviously the league looks a bit out of the picture. Do you see Chelsea realistically winning any trophies this season? And if not this season, how soon until you win another trophy?
I don't think the league is out. I think it's a good question. I don't think the league is out of the question though, because
Ooh,
you look at
okay,
it like this.
okay.
Literally, look at Aston Villa. Look at Aston Villa. They were bottom three, first 5 games, couldn't buy a goal. Couldn't even buy really a chance. I remember watching them
The
at
last
Sunderland.
team, yeah, they were the last team in Europe's top 7 leagues to score a goal.
Exactly, bro. Bros brought the stats. Like, they haven't scored a goal, bro. They haven't scored a goal. Now they're 2 points away from Arsenal, right? And as I keep on saying, December Chelsea terrible, but Qadr of Allah, like, if we do some madness in December, playing well and winning games, you play enough games where that becomes consequential. So I don't think the league is completely gone. I would say I've gone from being like 10% confident we'll win the league to maybe like 4%. But that number can go up with a strong December and a strong January. But I wouldn't put my money on that. Champions League, I mean, I'm confident that we can do stuff in the Champions League. If we play the playoffs, things get a bit long. That could be a problem. I think we've got Cardiff in the next round of the Carabao Cup. Then we've got the semi-finals. So that could be a game that could be a trophy that we go on to win. Haven't won a domestic trophy since 2018, so it'd be weird to say that we will win it this year. But I think that there's probably, what have we got? We've got the Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, and FA Cup. I say, if I'm being positive, I would say we break our domestic drought, right, and win one this year. A positive season for me would be third in the league and win a domestic trophy and go into the quarters or semi-final, or have a really strong performance in the Champions League, right? That could be facing, I don't know, Bayern Munich in the round of 16, losing 3-0 in the first game and then winning 4-0, or losing 4-0 in the first game, but winning 3-0 in the second game. I just want strong performances in Europe where we just stamp our authority, where we're like, that is like, the Club World Cup is not just like a fly in the wall, you know? So that would be realistically what I'd be happy with. Third in a domestic trophy and a strong Champions League run.
Yeah. Okay, I know that's I would say that's realistic because I guess silverware still is the currency for success in
Yeah.
football. So Maresca will be judged ultimately on how many trophies he wins. Because I would say this Chelsea team, um, yeah, it's good enough to challenge. Maybe not for
Mm.
the league compared to the likes of like Arsenal, who's already have. I would say Arsenal were in your position a couple of years ago. They just obviously have that maturity that you
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Like give this Chelsea team 2-3 more years, it'll be exactly like Arsenal. I think
Yeah.
y'all will probably get over the line quicker than Arsenal.
Yeah.
But
I think it's
yeah, I
most
think
important that we
just
win.
yep, cover.
As you said, silverware is the currency of football, right? We need to just, like, with Chelsea, we're not Arsenal. I'm not even saying that's like a joke. With Chelsea, we win stuff. We don't just go, we'll challenge. Like, we need to win stuff just so, like, it was great we won the Conference League because it gave players the confidence. I believe if we didn't win the Conference League, we wouldn't have done anything in the Club World Cup, right? Because those lads would have won nothing up to that point. But the fact that we got over the line in the Premier League, we got over the line in the Conference League, we got over the line in the Club World Cup, honestly, now I'm confident. If we finish like within, if you told me we can finish within 10 points of Arsenal, right, at the end of the season, win the Carabao Cup and get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, I'd be more than happy with that result. I'd be more than happy with
Yeah,
that.
I think that's fair. We have a comment here from Honest Joe saying Chelsea maybe need a long-term coach to be the next Arsenal. Yeah, so I think that's the conversation we're having now. Is Maresca that guy? And I think a lot of Chelsea fans, there's a general consensus that do believe that Maresca is going to be that guy to give a long-term project for.
We're not that sort of team though. Like, if you're not doing very well, I mean, we've never seen it with these new owners where a manager is doing well and then stops doing well, right? And see if he gets back. Like, Potter never really did well. He was always going to get sacked. Poch never really did well. He was always going to get sacked, right? So
Yeah.
Maresca will be the first one that would have done something. Like, he's already done. Like, imagine if he did terrible now. It's like started losing games and winning games and finished 5th or 6th. It'd be interesting to see what the owners do at that point. But do I think he could be the long-term coach? Honestly, probably, yeah. Honestly, I do see that. I think he's tactically well-versed, given his maturity in the league and understanding how to play other teams. I think, and how to develop the squad, I think this could be a really good bit. It depends what the owners do. Old Chelsea will just get rid of him if he performs badly. New Chelsea might give him a bit more time. But we're not that sort of team. We will dominate because the club is great, not because the manager is great. That is the history of the Chelsea.
That is the history of the Chelsea. I can't lie. Can't lie. And then yeah, I think probably the last question for you for your therapy session here, my boy, is is Cole Palmer a curse for Chelsea this season because they'll have been winning games more without him in the team than with him in the team.
Yeah.
So is Cole
So
Palmer a problem? Is the question.
yeah. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call mental health problems in real time. Because what the hell is my man talking about? He's talking about Cole Palmer. He said with a straight face, Cole Palmer the problem, right? We're just so good we can win without him. Neutral fans are annoyed because they say we're Cole Palmer's team. It's Cole Palmer FC. Bro, we can win with or without him, right? Right now we kind of need him. So Cole, come back into the team and play really well. But we proven before he was out for a month and a half. In that month and a half time, we became title contenders, right? To the media, right? So no, Cole Palmer is not the problem, and I don't think you needed me to say
Okay. Just making sure. Just making sure. I wanted to hear your
that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I'm glad you came in today. Hopefully, if there is anything else you'd like to get off your chest, please here's the opportunity to.
Just win, man. Chelsea Football Club, please. December, stop. Just stop. Stop being yourself. Do a different December. Stop losing. Stop playing terrible. Stop playing short passes. Stop playing like wimps. Stop not being brave on the ball. Stop not attacking. Stop being not together. Just please play good football. No red cards. Win the games. No silly little losses. I want to have a nice Christmas. I want to have a nice time with my family, and I don't need you guys to ruin it. Okay? That's all I ask for. Thank you.
Is that your dua this Christmas?
I mean,
Now, okay, no, I appreciate you coming into my office.
thank you.
Now I'm knocking on the door. Sir.
Yeah, come in.
Okay, come in. How's it going? How's it going, man?
Hi,
yourself.
Mr. Corner Flag. How are you doing today, my friend? I've been expecting you.
Yeah, I could be better. I can't lie. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, man. I can tell by the look on your face. You've not been yourself recently. What's been happening?
Trouble with my football club, man. See,
The worst.
one of- you know, I'm sure you know the feeling.
No, yeah. I mean, not really, but it's just about you, not me.
Yeah. So to summarize it, it's like one of our club legends, essentially a guy who sits comfortably in our top three of all time, is having a civil war with the manager that won us our 20th league title and the second in I think about 30 years. So I wouldn't really say he's just any ordinary guy, but them two have a civil war.
Yeah. Well, I can understand. I can understand your feelings and I can understand your frustration. So we will talk about that today, Mr. Corner Flag. Can I call you Mr. Corner Flag, or do you want me to call you something different for this?
Yeah, feel free to just call me Flag. It's okay.
Okay, Flag. I'm gonna start off pretty tame, and then we'll work our way up. How does that sound?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do that.
Cool. Well, let's start with yesterday. Why go 10 days back? Why go 10 weeks back? Let's just start with yesterday. Let's start with the here and now. Okay, so yesterday, Liverpool Football Club played against Inter Milano in the San Siro. They played with a 2 up top in a formation that I believe you were very happy with, a 4-4-2. What were your thoughts on the game? What was your thoughts on that formation? And what was your thoughts on that game, that team, that performance with the omission of Mohamed Salah?
Oh, I like to unpack there. Yeah, no, I would definitely say it was the right call from Slot to use that formation. The man is a tactician, a stubborn one though. So you would rather make sure that Plan A really doesn't work. Then he'll change. So I guess it really didn't work considering a lot of the fan base wanted him out. So maybe that was a sign to say, okay, maybe I should switch it up a bit. Obviously, the general public don't like me right now. That 4-4-2 diamond was something I thought he was going to do initially from the beginning of the season. When you sign Ekitike and he's performing, scoring in almost every single goal, every single game he's playing, then go on to sign Isak as well. So it's not to say, oh, I bought this guy as a backup because obviously he can start for Liverpool Football Club. Then you buy the best striker in the league at the time. Ireland obviously is the best striker in the league. But at the time, Isak was the best striker in the league. I'm thinking, okay, we are about to cook. We are going to have a 4-4-2. We're going to play with two strikers, whatever it is. And then yesterday proved it. We were very good going forward, created some good chances. Defensively looked solid because we had a lot of midfielders. What's been Liverpool's problem so far this season has been the fact that teams can just run straight through us. Or, Dua Lipa, she lied. One kiss isn't all it takes. For Liverpool, one pass is all it takes. And because all it takes to score against Liverpool is one pass. Then you are in. How many times we've conceded goals this season because of one pass in behind and the striker goes to score from the opposition? All I'm going to say is that formation definitely proved itself. We are so much more solid. I would rather have games where we win 1-0, 2-0, and it's a boring game than to be experiencing the things we've been experiencing now. Back-to-back defeats, games where you don't know what's going on. I rather have it feeling now. And I guess you did ask me a lot of things there. So on Mohamed Salah, I would say theirs is a formation that can still have Mohamed Salah in it. Salah, you telling me you can't play right striker? I know you're my therapist right now, but I'm going to ask you that question. You're telling me Mohamed Salah can't play as a right striker in a 4-4-2?
Well, as you said, I'm just a therapist. I'm here to allow you to express your feelings, but since you asked so politely, flag. Potentially, he could play a right striker. If I was Mr. Arnie Slot, I would persevere without him because I'm trying to find a team that works with my two strikers that I spent over 230 million on. I want to see how it works with them, who were paid to be strikers. And evidence, based on yesterday's evidence, it worked. Isak was a little bit slow. I will have to mention that. You seemed a little bit off the pace, but how are you going to get on the pace if you don't play?
And that is the argument. That's why, I guess. But wouldn't you rather? Okay, so listen to that. Obviously, there's a therapy session. So I'm unpacking it. I'm putting it in front of you.
That's what we're here for.
If you honest, like I'm thinking, if Arne Slot is willing to play only one striker at a time, like TK or Isak, why can't he still do that and then have Mohamed Salah be the right striker? You understand? His plan was always to rotate the two strikers. You can still do that, having Mohamed Salah play as the right striker. I think that can still work.
To play devil's advocate, what I would say to that is there's a lot of turmoil in your club right now. A lot of turmoil in your club. You've just beaten a team that hadn't lost in the Champions League, if I remember correctly, until last night, or maybe until the game before last night. You've just beaten them away from home in a pretty convincing performance, and you guys are still talking about Mohamed Salah. And I know I asked you about Mohamed Salah, but you guys have just played the formation that you wanted to play without the player that you didn't want to see play because he was injured in Gakpo, right? You've got the two strikers up top, and you've won the game, and brothers are still talking about Mohamed Salah.
You know why? The man's a GOAT. The man is the modern day greatest player in Liverpool's in our modern history, I would say. Obviously, since Steven Gerrard retired, the people that you can put in that debate is Virgil van Dijk and Salah. And I think Mohamed Salah still comes out on top for most people. Lots of people, as much as Salah is this icon of the football club, not an ordinary player whatsoever, people do put him on a higher pedestal than I do think he deserves from some people, because people make it seem as if he alone won Liverpool the Champions League and the Premier League, the first one, and now the second one. I can low-key argue that Mohamed Salah had such an important role to play in that second one. Like, I think without him, maybe we don't go on to win the Premier League. But Mohamed Salah, I think Jamie Carragher talked about it. As much as I think I disagree with 90% of what Jamie Carragher said, I think Jamie Carragher did talk about the fact that Mohamed Salah is still a part of a 11-man team. So you need the 10 other players around you in order for you to still become great. So I think some people forget about that.
That's interesting. That is interesting. I understand your predicament, right? Because it's almost like I've got my love for Liverpool on one hand, but also I don't want to see my legend go out like this on the other hand. You know,
Yeah.
so it's a sticky one, and I do want to touch upon this in great detail a bit later on in our session. So, Flag, I appreciate you bringing that up.
All right.
This
All right.
and actually, you know what? You know what? Let's just cut to the chase and get straight to it. But we'll prelude to it. Obviously, we have the Salah conversation, we have the Salah interview, we have the slot interview. Talk to me, Flag. What do you think of Jamie Carragher's comments and his basically 8-minute rant about Mohamed Salah on English TV on Monday night?
I didn't know Jamie Carragher had a personal vendetta on Mohamed Salah. If anyone had any like they weren't 100% sure whether or not he had one, I think Monday night proved that he did have a personal agenda on Mohamed Salah. Because you see, before that Monday night game, he already called out for Mohamed Salah to come out and say a few words during the tough situation. He didn't need to do that. As much as Salah is one of the senior players, I wouldn't say Mohamed Salah is responsible to come and talk to the media because Liverpool are performing so badly. I would have liked for him to do that because the way the fans obviously admired him, not just from last season but from prior seasons as well. But specifically after what he did for the City last season, you would have liked him in particular to come out and say a few words of motivation, like, oh, in a tough situation, we'll come out of it. He didn't do that. In fact, whenever Liverpool had a tough situation, he's never ever come out. It's only when he's had personal agendas. And that's where, in this entire situation, I wouldn't even say there is an innocent party. Jamie Carragher 100% ain't innocent. Arne Slot, we'll speak about him in more detail later, but he also isn't innocent. And Mohamed Salah essentially pressing a what do you call it? A self-destruct button on the club. But that also is not, he wasn't completely innocent. I'll quote Steven Gerrard. Gerrard had a bit of an interview, I think yesterday, I think it was yesterday. He said he understands Mohamed Salah's frustrations, him coming out to the media talking about not starting. It's okay, you can do that 100% because you are this player with a big ego, and that ego has allowed you to score goals and has allowed you to become Liverpool's one of their best ever players and the Premier League's best ever players. That's your ego. That's your selfishness. If you take away that, you don't become Mohamed Salah of today. The part where Salah should have maybe taken a back seat on or reversed a bit was the club's throwing me under the bus. People don't want me. You know the situation, Wade. Why are you still making it worse? As one of the leaders, the first time you go on to go talk to the media, you essentially make the situation 10 times bigger than it has to be. You know Arne Slot, right? In his interview leading up to Inter Milan, it's a 15-minute press conference. 14 minutes were about Mohamed Salah. Dan Allison had to talk about Mohamed Salah as well, because Allison was our senior player there in the press conference. Salah, if it was ever any doubt, he is one of our greatest ever players, and he is, I wouldn't maybe say on the level of Lionel Messi, Mbappe, and Ronaldo in terms of world-renowned superstar, but he is a superstar, and you can see how big of an impact he has.
I think it's sad, man. My personal opinion, as I said, I know I'm just a therapist, but I think it's sad. I think it really is sad. It's sad that he's doing this because, as Steven Gerrard, right, I fully agree with him. If he doesn't have that ego, he doesn't get to the place where he gets to, right? Because as Jamie Carragher rightfully mentioned, he was just a Chelsea reject. And for you to go from being a Chelsea reject to being arguably the best player in the league for one of the top two players in the league for essentially maybe 3-4 years of time, right, between 2025 and 2021, and even before that, right? For him to do that interview was, for me, I think was so selfish, it's unbelievable. And I even said it. I think I even put it in the chat, and I said it on Sunday. I think the more I think about it, and on Jamie Carragher's comments, I think him bringing up stuff about like not winning with Egypt, I think it was just a bit silly because Egypt.
Yeah, like those are personal attacks.
Totally terrible, right? But I can understand why he's done it because he's emotional about the fact that you've come for his club, right? And you're not helping his club. The fact that he did that interview, Salah, is just like, I understand when you don't have a contract. When he came out after beating United last year, and he was like, "Well, they didn't give me a contract." Away at Southampton, he said, "They're not giving me a contract." Right? I understand that because it's money, but it's like you haven't played 3 games. You've literally not played for a week, bro. And you've decided now is the time to speak when you never speak any time ever. You know what I mean? It's like you see the true character of a man, not when he's at the top, but how he reacts when he's at the bottom. You know, and this is just showing like a really poor side of him, which I don't think he needed to do. He could have gone away to AFCON, done all this privately, seen if Liverpool come back. Where now, realistically, he's probably watching the Inter Milan game. Probably got his fingers crossed, his 2 fingers crossed, his toes crossed, and probably speaking to his family and having them all cross their fingers and toes or whatever to be like, I hope that Liverpool lose, you know? And I think that's a really sad situation for a club legend like Salah to put himself in.
Yeah, and that's why there's like a civil war, because now it's like you got a bit of the fan base that's obviously going on Salah's side, and I question the people that's choosing sides, because you can maybe still support Salah, but don't say Salah's right, Slot is wrong, because no one is right in this situation.
I mean, I think Slot is right, to be honest. He's a manager that's having a poor time in terms of the right tactical decisions, in terms of picking the right team, right, and getting the right results. He's having a poor time because he came from winning the league at a canter last year, when basically in April they were just like drunk all the time, right? Which is not a small thing, not the drinking part, but like it's not a small thing to have won the league by April, essentially. Probably they'd won the league by March, if we're being completely honest, right? To get to that point, to now where he's just struggling. Salah did not need to do that interview, and it's just made things. Well, you could say make things worse, but everyone's focusing on Salah. They're now not focusing on the team anymore. So maybe it's like a 4D chess play. Maybe it's an 8D chess play. But it's like, focus on me, focus on me, focus on me. Don't focus on them. You know, maybe it's one of them ones. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, this whole situation even exposed the media, because we all already suspected that the media had an agenda on Salah also. Obviously, Jamie Carragher got his own thing, but like a lot of people, like Salah even called it out in his interview, saying now when things aren't going well, blame Salah. I think, even though we won yesterday quite convincingly, it wasn't because Salah wasn't there. I think Liverpool win that game, maybe even with more goals, if Salah plays right striker. But remember,
but he's attached that. He's attached that value to it now. He's attached it to if because he said, "Oh, all blame is on me." If they don't win, it's because Salah's not playing, and if they do win, it's because Salah's not playing. You know, so he's attached that value himself. And I don't think. I mean, you tell me. I think people were saying Salah's not playing as well, or Salah's playing poorly, but they weren't saying Liverpool are terrible because Salah's playing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I don't think
I
anyone
never
said
said
that.
like no one ever said that. He did
So he's
victimize
making
himself.
some fuckwass in his head, and he's like terrorizing. Well, like if the club doesn't deal with this properly, he's created a situation that did not need to exist, in my opinion. But I'm just a I'm just a therapist.
You're just a therapist. Okay.
But anyway, let's move on. Okay, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the thing with Salah, if someone had to explain Mohamed Salah to a player, a football fan who's not known about Mohamed Salah, you would say this is a player that once you give him a chance within that final third on the right pocket, you know he scores a lot. You know his output is insane. I think Mohamed Salah this season also has been playing a lot more wider. Sky Sports showed some stats saying that Salah actually has covered more distance so far this season. So people are talking about his defensive contributions going lower. Sky Sports almost debunked that by saying he's covered more distance and done more sprints. I think Mohamed Salah should be playing as the right striker in this current formation, because you put him in the position where you get the best out of him. You don't. You put him there. You're literally telling him, don't worry about any defending. As a right winger, you low-key should have a responsibility. Not say, oh, here's a privilege, you don't have to defend. If you're playing in that position of the football pitch, you should have a bit of defensive responsibility. But if you're playing as a right striker, I feel like there's no responsibility then if you're playing in that position.
And on that point, Noaz, what do you think of Carragher's comment where he said, you're talking about the club throwing me under the bus, right? And I might be misquoting a little bit, but
yeah.
You might be throwing. You're saying the club is throwing you under the bus, but you've thrown the Liverpool right back under the bus for the last 8 years, right?
That's absolute
I thought
bullshit,
that was a big point. But
No,
what do you
that was
think of that
bullshit.
comment?
Also. I thought that was absolute bullshit because you're telling me Mohamed Salah doesn't track back. Last season, he's tracked back as much as he did have the responsibility to. But
He didn't say he didn't
for
track back.
seasons,
He said he's been killing the right back for 8 years.
but
So whatever that
in
means.
what sense? But in what sense? Yeah, he's probably talking about defensive responsibilities.
Probably.
But Salah, how many times? Okay, before last season, because I noticed it because obviously the Salah versus Hazard debate, quite a feisty one that, especially in the early stages of Salah's career.
Well, we know
The
he's
point people, the point people were making to give Salah some points in that debate was the fact that Salah could defend also because he used to cover for Trent a few times. Like that, I would say that was a lie from Jamie Carragher to say for 8 years Salah did nothing for the right back. That's it's complete false in my opinion. That was just a lie.
Yeah, it was interesting because Trent is most famously the worst big right back at defending, and you're playing him with the right winger who does the least amount of defensive work because he's being allowed to. It's not like he's just doing it without being told. He's allowed to stay up top, right? But he's not helped his fullback at all, you know. So it's almost like how the hell did that right partnership work? But then I guess the right partnership did work because with that right partnership, you had a playmaker at right back, you had the best finisher at right wing. You had Champions Leagues, you had Premier Leagues, you had Club World Cups, you had FA Cups, you had Carling Cups, you had everything, you know.
Yeah.
And basically that leads me on to the big question I have. I've got one question after that, but the big question that I have is,
yeah,
for you, you've had 3 days to really sit on this, 4 days to sit on this. Are you Team Salah or are you Team Slot?
Oh, it depends on what that means, though. It depends on what that means because the fact of the matter is, I'm Team Liverpool. I gave you a fence answer. I'm the fence.
Yeah, get off the fence. You're either Team Salah or you Team Slot. What are
No,
you?
but I said it also. Like both of them are wrong in their own way. I think the person who's less wrong, not who I respect more, less wrong is Slot. I think Slot is less wrong.
People in the chat, give me Team Salah or Team Slot as well. But you're going for Team Slot.
I'm going for Team Slot in the sense that I think Slot right now, he needs to figure things out. I wouldn't want to put more pressure on him. You get rid of him, you don't really have a convincing replacement in this current managerial market. Xabi Alonso came out in an interview saying also that right now his future is at Real Madrid. He's going to try and do the best as he can there. So it's not to say we can just replace Slot with Xabi Alonso. If you don't replace him with Xabi Alonso, who are you replacing with Iriola? I mean, Thomas Frank was the Iriola before Iriola because Thomas Frank was the big manager from a small club. So yeah, I would say I'm Team Slot. I'm Team Slot. Like Salah needs to realize that at the end of the day, he's a player. He's an executive chair. So it doesn't matter. Like I know he has a good relationship with the fans and stuff. But when you do have shocking performances, you need to be dropped. Where I think Slot is wrong still, though, is dropping him for 3 games straight and not allowing him to at least prove himself in a run of fixtures where I would say Liverpool could definitely use someone like Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, but you're talking about they could use Mohamed Salah as the idea. They could use the idea of Mohamed Salah. Like, you don't like me, you like the idea of me. You know, that's what you're talking about. You're not talking about Salah now. Like, you've got to think of thinking, what players are going to help me now? What players are going to help me to win games now? What players are going to help me in the system to win games and perform better now? You're talking about the idea of Salah. And this is, I think, the biggest problem with the Salah statement in his whole interview. It's all about, I've earned this, basically, because he had an unbelievable season last year and he's had unbelievable seasons for years before that. But this means that when I'm playing terribly and the whole team's playing terribly, I should still keep my spot. When in reality, in my opinion, it's not like he's playing bad and everybody else is playing good and they're winning games. If that was the case, he could basically stay there all season. But Liverpool Football Club are not winning football matches. Slot is getting paid and is in a job to win football matches, right? He's not there to the idea of Salah or the idea of Trent or the idea of Van Dijk, right? He's there to, how the hell do I win football matches now, right? And I think if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm almost thinking, how can you throw us under the bus because we're always trying to win games now where you're putting your own personal agenda like you're putting that to the forefront, and that can only mess up my own teammates. And it's funny because a lot of people in the chat are saying Pav said Team Salah, Noah said Team Salah, Slot lost the plot. But my thing is like this manager's won you the league last year. Does he not deserve the opportunity to fix this and do it the way that he wants to do it?
You see, okay, to answer you, I would say, if you want to drop Mohamed Salah, why didn't he drop other players first? Because similarly, Cody Gakpo, he wasn't really. He was similar to Salah. He didn't really have good performances. I know Slot is trying to use the right hand side because dropping Salah meant that he could play Szoboszlai as a right attacking midfielder. They have some sort of partnership between him and Wirtz and the right back, which Salah wasn't going to be able to do. So dropping Salah wasn't to say, okay, I'm dropping you for someone better. Dropping Salah was in order for him to experiment and try a new system. So that's the part where I think Salah is also wrong, is because it's not to say, oh, you're doing terribly, I trust someone else more than you. It's not still trying to figure it out. The issue also is then, he is still trusting players like Isak over Ekitike, who is performing. So why are you? So there you're talking about, okay, what's happening? What's helping Liverpool now? What is helping Liverpool now is Chiesa. Chiesa is helping us more than Gakpo. He's not starting. Ekitike. Ekitike is helping Liverpool more than Isak. Ekitike ain't starting. So you see, in those situations, there, Slot is contradicting himself. He says, "Oh,
in the beginning, right? He's benched also
was so much better." Wirtz helped us change the game against Inter Milan, by the way. The minute he came on,
I was watching it. He was good, but it's like this guy has come for 130 mil. He's gone invincible at Leverkusen. Even he can understand. You know what? Like, I'm not playing well. I don't deserve to play. Because he's thinking, I want this team to win because I want to have a legacy at Liverpool. Yes, I understand Salah already has his legacy at Liverpool, but like, why does he think he's above? Like, he's above Slot, basically. I won't say losing the plot, but he doesn't know how to solve this thing out. Why are you going now? You've missed 3 games. Well, you came on against who was it? You came on at halftime against Sunderland. I'm pretty sure you came on with half an hour left against West Ham, if I believe correctly. So it's not like you're not playing. It's not like Salah's not playing. I don't know. I think the way he's behaved, the way he came out in the interview, I think it was just like so silly.
He was
he's killed his boys. He's killed his boys. So that's what like irritates me a little bit. Now you've got fans in this situation where they're like, who do I choose? Salah or Slot. Who do I choose, the club or the player?
And you see, if you choose the club, you have to choose the manager. Because at the end of the day, Salah isn't the one making the tough calls and coming up with tactics or making sure that Liverpool wins games. Salah, his job is to score goals, which unfortunately he wasn't doing that good of a job for this season. I fully agree that players can drop in form. You can't be the best player in the league last season and all of a sudden, flip of a switch, drop off. I feel like Salah maintains his body in such a way that he will have a steady decline, not an immediate decline. So I think Salah, even during his prime, he did have a 9-game goal drought in his second season for Liverpool, where he scored against Southampton to break that drought. So it happens, Salah has droughts. I think even in the season after we won the league, our first season with Nike, he had a long drought there as well. So I would say Salah was obviously just having a tough situation. The only issue is that Slot is definitely also having a tough situation where he doesn't know the system, and he unfortunately chose Salah to be one of the players to experiment, going off, bringing Szoboszlai in that, changing the formation. But I do think, honestly, if Slot ever figures the same thing as me out, hopefully we get on the same wavelength, play the 4-4-2 diamond, and Salah as a right striker. I'm telling you, that will work. It will work so good because Salah, at the end of the day, is one of the most clinical players the Premier League has ever seen. And I don't think you can lose the ability to shoot. You can lose the ability to go as fast as you are, the ability to be less agile. You can lose that. But the ability to be scoring goals, I think you can still do that until you're like 40. Cristiano Ronaldo is proving it, scoring bangers. He's not even scoring normal goals in Saudi. He's still scoring bangers. And Salah, I put Salah on the same bracket as Cristiano in terms of maintaining body and big fit. It's everything.
And he's only like 33. Like, I agree with you. I think maybe a right striker will be good. My whole thing is like, you've spent 130 million on Isak. You kind of need him. And the whole thing is he's not up to speed. Well, you can only get speed by playing. You know, I think Aslan's come at a really good time. I mean, do you think he plays against Brighton? Or would you play him against Brighton? Even if he comes in and says, Arnie, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to do what I did. I was just pissed because you're not playing me. Like, I love this club. I like you. I'm ready to come back in, like, if you want me. If that happens, what would you do? You're the manager. He's apologized to you. He's come with his tails in between his legs.
If I'm the manager, like I said, I would start him. I wouldn't start him as a right winger, though. Slot needs to flip and stick to his guts. It worked. Like you said, we didn't just verse any normal Inter Milan team. We versed a team that was undefeated in the Champions League so far, and we've basically nullified them in their own backyard using this new formation. So if it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Play Salah. The only reason I would play Salah is in the right striker. If he's going to go back to the 4-4-3, 4-3-3, sorry, then I find it difficult for Salah to get back in this team, especially in this situation. Even if he comes and apologizes, because at the end of the day, Salah needs to win games. Salah, it's such a tough situation because I love the guy. I want him to prove me wrong. Like I want Salah to prove me wrong also. Start winning games.
Well, actually, what happens if this happens, Nawaz, right? He goes to AFCON, right? He doesn't apologize, so he just goes to AFCON. And Liverpool go from losing and being inconsistent to winning. Let's say you've got 6 games without Salah. If they win 5 games without Salah, confidence comes back in the club. Confidence comes back in an 11 that hasn't changed in the last 3, and they've won the last 3, right? Salah has got off his flight from Egypt. He's arrived at Anfield, and now he's like, what happens? You're the manager. You've won 5 of the last 6. You're in charge of everything. What happens then?
Like I said, though, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if it's a good system and it's working, the only way Salah gets back into this team and maintains it is if Liverpool rotates one game week, plays Salah right striker or right winger, whatever it is, and he has an absolute insane game. And then Slot will be like, okay, fine, maybe he's back in form and we play him again and again and again. But I feel like if Liverpool go on a run of form also now, Salah still remains on the bench. Players like this, they don't like to be on the bench. Steven Gerrard also in his last season at Liverpool didn't like to be on the bench. That's why he still went on to play a season at LA Galaxy. He felt like he still had more in him. But I think when you at that high level, you don't know when to call it quits. I don't think Salah is personally like done at the highest level.
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I just think that it's like Slot is so under pressure that now he needs to stick to what's working. And if Salah ain't in what's working right now, I don't know when Salah comes back into this team then.
Because he can't say anything. If imagine he did that interview, but you were on the back of 4 straight wins. He would look like even more of a knob. But he would be like, we've just won 4. Why are you doing this? Why are you throwing us into turmoil? You know. So Slot is basically hoping that get through this week. Wait till he gets on the plane to Morocco. Just let him go. Just make it to that time, and then Slot's got to think. Work out a solution so I don't need to play that bloody footballer in my team. Yeah, because then when he comes back, he can't do any buckwash, he can't complain, he can't do nothing. No knucker up from him because we'll be winning games at that point. That's what I think Slot has got to hope, in my opinion.
Yeah. I see we got a few people in the chat also that agreed about what I was saying. Like the best thing is to stick to what's working. Fans don't like to see the team like this when Liverpool lose. And it's business, the players are the employees and the manager has to do what's best for the club. I mean those are the harsh truths. Like at the end of the day, I said Salah is a player. He's not an executive chair. He's not the manager. So in terms of if Liverpool aren't performing, Salah still keeps his job. The manager loses his job. Yeah. So the pressure ain't really on Salah. But the thing is, I think for now, get through the week. If we somehow go on a mad run of form without him, stick to what's working. I think, I don't know if you have it in your notes, but maybe if you don't, I'm going to ask a question then to you. I think Liverpool offered Mohamed Salah a 2-year contract because they were going to sell him after the season to a Saudi club.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy to say. It's not crazy to say that.
It's not crazy to say that.
I don't think that's crazy to say that. I don't think that's crazy to say that. Yeah, probably. They're a business. right? They're giving him a 2-year contract because then if he plays well, the whole of this season is not, shoot, we have to give him 500k next year because he's playing that well to keep him. It's more a case of like, okay, if we give him a 2-year contract, if he plays terribly, we can sell him, right? We can make some money. And if he plays well, we've got him for 2 years, you know? And if he continues to play well after that, then we don't mind paying him. I think it's smart from Liverpool. It's really smart. That was probably one of the biggest problems with them and Van Dijk, was that like the length of the contract and the amount. That was probably the problem. But I think it's smart. Liverpool are very, very smart.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is business. And I think with Saudi, Mohamed Salah obviously being an Arab also, I think there was obviously going to be, him coming to Saudi was going to be a bigger ambassador than Cristiano coming to Saudi.
Do you think?
Mohamed Salah. Yeah, because Cristiano Ronaldo obviously is a worldwide European football superstar. But if you're talking about, like Saudi is an Arab country and Mohamed Salah is the greatest Arab player of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like...
Yeah, no, I hear it. It's just mad to think. Because I feel like Ronaldo's got the streets, man. I feel like Ronaldo's the ultimate, like, got the streets. I don't know. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if you think he's
there's so many Saudi fans that probably love Messi also. Probably,
yeah, but I think Ronaldo's because Ronaldo's over there, he's got the streets. Like, he's got the streets completely locked off. But I think in Egypt, Salah, yeah, you're probably right. Because when I went to Umrah, Salah was on a lot of things in Jeddah. Like, he was in a lot, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're right.
It's the Arab.
It's the Arab thing.
Arab trait.
Yeah. Damn.
Like, even on Salah's Instagram lately. Even on Salah's Instagram lately, there was a Pepsi ad in Arab.
Yeah. That's what he's known for, isn't it?
Yeah. So I just think, from that perspective, obviously, at least with Ronaldo, you don't have to teach him how to say Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak. Salah can just say.
How do you say Christmas Mubarak? I think Salah's trying to not asking for bread.
You better behave. Yeah, you know it'll be funny. He's having such a terrible season this season. He celebrates Christmas and then he goes on to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's crazy to say that.
I think that's crazy to say that. Well, actually, my last question, right? Because I wanted to. We've had the Salah, we've had the slot thing. We've gone through all of that, and I know it's a tough time for you guys, Liverpool fans. Let's take a step back. Let's take a full step back and go, you know what? It's a third of the way through the season. We're 15 games into the Premier League. We're 6 games into the Champions League. Mr. Flag, Nawaz ANT.
My coffee.
What realistically does Liverpool's end of the season look like if they're going to be successful in your eyes, based on where they are now and where they can get to at the end of the season? Where realistically do you believe they would end, and what would be a successful end of the season for Liverpool?
Do you want me to give you considering the current circumstances, or
absolutely?
Considering the current circumstances, top 4, 100%. I would say top 4. I don't think Slot respects Africa. 8?
Eight.
Yeah, we can't finish 8th. I would definitely say
you're above 8 now.
I would say an objective is to finish above Manchester United for sure. Just for us fans, man. Come on, Liverpool. Don't let us finish below that.
No, it's so normal. Right, that took me out because it was so normal. And then I fucking saw 8. I was like, what is this?
We can't get 8th. 8th is so... I don't think 8th is even European. I think in order for 8th to be a European spot...
Bro. It's maybe Asian. You maybe get into an Asian tournament. If you finish 8th, you get into an Asian tournament, bro.
Okay, ain't that okay? But I have a sneaky feeling. Now, but I'm not gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it because now I said something.
Talk about your vibe, bro. It's a safe space. It's a therapy session.
Oh yeah, it's a therapy session. Okay, whatever it says, it stays.
Anything you do say now will be brought up in the court of law later on.
Oh, you know what? And maybe you can remember this because obviously you were coming up with stories about me saying that we were definitely going to win the league and stuff. I don't know where you got that from, but what I'm about to say, you can always reference this for later. I have a sneaky feeling, a Slot will figure it out, and it'll be so late into the season that teams won't be able to figure us out. Because usually when someone has a system right from the beginning of the season, you can eventually figure them out. Liverpool right now don't know what's happening. So the minute we figure it out, I have a feeling we'll have such a good run of form, and it'll be so late into the season, we'll go on to win the Champions League. I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy to say that.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Brother, of all the things, of all the words that you could have put together into a sentence there, yeah, of all the different topics, the different meteorological sort of situations and contexts and scenarios you could have put together, the last thing I thought you would say was Slot will put it all together. I was like, I'm here. I'm here on that. I think he can put it all together and win the Champions League. Brother, what are you smoking?
I don't understand why you, as a Chelsea fan, doesn't believe that. As if you didn't win your first ever. As if you didn't win your first ever Champions League with a manager that came in halfway through the season.
Brother, we're different. We're different. You, yeah, only win Champions Leagues in scenarios which are completely bakwas and backward. In the sense of like, and maybe this is a situation.
Telling me this season in bakwas and backwards?
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But like,
you're proving my point. You're proving my point.
No,
when no one expects us to do it, we do it.
No, but
I still don't expect us to do it.
Actually, I won't have that because the only time in 2019 when people didn't think you were going to win it was when you lost 3-0 at Camp Nou. It was not in December based on the way that you were playing. Do you believe you can't even have the facilities to play the football that's good enough for you to win the league, to win the Champions League? Do you genuinely believe that that's a world that exists?
I still believe we have a team strong enough to win the league if we go in a good run of form. Okay, jokes aside, I do think we can win the Champions League.
Oh, brother.
I do think we can. I don't think it's realistic, but we can. There is a world where Liverpool wins the Champions League this season. There is a world.
Wow.
And I pray, Ya Allah, I pray I'm living in that world. I pray I'm in that timeline.
Okay, put a percentage on it. How realistic is it that Liverpool win?
Liverpool winning the Champions League this season?
Yeah. Put a percentage on it.
5%.
5%. Okay, so you don't believe it at all. So you've just said a whole lot of nothing for no reason.
No. Remember, I think we said it actually in the.
What up?
We said it actually in the what you call it in our live the other day about like who does what, like percentage, our budget, and I put Liverpool.
Oh yeah, we did.
And I put Liverpool £5, so I do believe Liverpool still has 5% chance of winning the Champions League this season.
Yeah.
So Nikhil, by the way, I've just asked.
£10 fish.
Well, that's inflation, bro. It's £1. He got kicked back to Bangladesh, but anyway, we won't talk about that.
Don't joke.
Yeah,
I'll invite Prem also into this.
But by the way, Nikhil, I've just asked Nawaz, what is your realistic thingy for Liverpool for the end of the season? Right? I don't think he's giving me the realistic, but he said that Slot will put it all together and you guys will win the Champions League. Just for a bit of context.
I think we got a better chance to win the Champions League than the Premier League. That's for sure.
Yeah, 0 and 0.001. Yeah, there's a difference, bro. But it's so insignificant. Why are you guys even talking about it?
I mean, well, right now,
Mom and Dad are fighting, and you're talking about like you guys being family of the year. Come on, man. What the hell is this?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, I'm interested to see how far we can go because at the end of the day, even though we are in a shit show at the moment, there is quality players there. We just don't know when they're going to turn up. They could turn up mid-season. They could turn up end of the season. It's wild right now. I mean, we didn't think they were going to turn up and get a clean sheet against Inter and break the record, but
oh my God, don't Nawaz, yeah, you are sick in the head because you got brothers backing you up, yeah, because you won one game of football. Yeah, you're sick. You can win the Champions League.
I never say we're gonna. I never say we're gonna go on an undefeated run from now. I never say we're gonna go on an undefeated run from now. They say we're gonna go on an undefeated run from now, or they say I do believe there's a world where when Slot figures it out, it's gonna be so late into the season that people won't be able to figure it out. When
oh my God. Oh my God! Clip this chat. Yo, is there a chat? Yo, chat. Clip
Yo,
this.
chat. Yo,
Clip
chat.
this.
I don't think I'm going
Chat,
crazy,
clip
chat. I
this.
don't think I'm going
What
crazy.
am I hearing, man? What am I actually hearing?
I don't think I'm going crazy, in all honesty. I think I'm
But
I'm
okay,
realistic.
Nikhil, because Nawaz's obviously got mental problems. I want you to give me.
You're supposed to be my therapist, and you're saying this. Oh my word! Come on.
Yeah, but it's shit. I forgot about that. It's my professional. In my professional opinion, I believe Nawaz has left his brain in a different region, which we will get back to in a short period of time due to technical problems in the geographical nature. Can you give me your realistic ending of Liverpool season if you are to be successful from this point?
See, it's that last part that got me. If you are to be successful, because if we are to be successful,
Like what's successful from now?
I think
Top four,
making
definitely.
Champions League top 4.
Top 4 for sure.
Top 4 is one of them. Maybe
I
at
think
least
Slot will swear the
trying
FA
to
Cup.
get to the quarterfinals or round of 16 in the Champions League, if we can make it around about there, and maybe trying to compete for one of the cups. I don't know what cup are we left in? FA Cup.
Everyone's in the FA Cup.
Yeah, but
you don't.
are
you in the Carabao Cup?
Which was the one that Palace knocked us out in?
Yeah,
Carabao. So FA Cup, I think maybe. Oh, yeah. I think if we push, I think that's probably our best chance. Maybe even pushing.
Be delusional, mate. Be delusional.
But a top four would be considered, I guess, successful now. But then again, from fourth to like 12th is like I don't know how many points. So we could maybe get third, even or fourth. So I think I don't know. That
top
would be
4
like
quarterfinals. Is that what you're saying then?
Top 4 quarterfinals, maybe I don't know. Try and make a semis, make a final in the FA Cup. I mean, FA Cup if you can, depending who's there.
We can't just make finals. We need to be winning these things, man. We need to be winning.
Yeah, but it depends how Slot takes it. Because he freaking plays kids, and then Palace have a freaking free run against us. So
yeah, but that's like a Liverpool thing, isn't it? You guys don't take the domestic cups.
No, but he took it to another level. I mean, he didn't even put our senior players on the bench.
Yeah,
he was a bit.
Yeah, that was insane. Actually, yes, I do remember that. That was kind of insane. My personal thing for Liverpool, I think you'll make top 4. I think Salah will be out of the club, and you might get round of 16 in the Champions League. I think if you play anybody serious, there's you basically got no chance. If you play Arsenal, you lose. If you play Bayern, you lose. If you play Real Madrid, you lose. As much as I hate them, you play Barcelona, you probably lose. But it all depends if Slot can wake up.
It just depends what Liverpool's going to turn up. I mean, you beat Real Madrid, you lose
play
to PSG,
you
beat
lose.
Inter.
You play Chelsea, you lose. I forgot about Chelsea as well. You play all these teams, you lose. But it depends on if you guys
wait. To which Skamaka are we losing to?
To which? So we beat 3-1 and 3-1 and.
It's pronounced Tanaka.
So we beat you 5-2 in the last 2 games.
I'm talking about Skamaka.
I know, yeah. Skamaka from Atalanta.
I'm talking about Skamaka.
Yeah, so
but
we beat
look
you
at
5-2
this.
in the last 2
games. I'm going
to
send you a link to StreamYard.
So you've had 180 minutes to beat us, and you've only scored 2 goals, and we scored 5. That's really interesting. Wow.
It's okay, because you're saying now in the Champions League, right, we are going to lose to all these teams, but Liverpool lose to PSV, but then beat Real Madrid and Inter. So I know how that
Nikhil,
works.
do you genuinely believe, no joke,
I don't believe
if you played Inter in a 2-game...
I don't believe that maybe we can beat these bigger teams, but Liverpool are putting better performances against the bigger teams in the Champions League.
But do you think when it really matters, you're going to beat a Real Madrid, you're going to beat an Inter Milan, you're going to beat a PSG, you're going to beat an Arsenal, you're going to beat a Chelsea, you're going to beat a Bayern, you're going to beat a Barcelona? Do you genuinely believe in a 2-game leg? You're going to beat
a leg. For Liverpool right now, with the inconsistency, we can go win at home and then get thrashed away. That's just how it is.
I'm just logging in on TikTok quickly.
Because you beat PSG last year, but then it showed over 180 minutes. You weren't good enough, and you lost.
But not good enough doesn't mean not good. Because we were the only team to take.
I'm looking at the Champions League fixtures now, right? We're seeing for the next group who's playing who.
Do you think you beat Newcastle? If you played Newcastle in the Champions League knockouts, do you think you beat them?
Well, did we beat them already this season?
No, is that how football works?
Ingeborg!
But then it means the same thing. If you're saying that's how football works, then the teams that beat us can now
Yeah, but
lose
if
to
I
us as
say it
well.
makes sense, if you say it doesn't make any sense, that's literally how gaslighting works.
That's
Come on,
why.
bro.
It's
Like,
because I'm a Liverpool fan, because then it looks like I'm being biased to my club.
exactly.
Well, I think
okay, Nikhil, do you believe the Slot will work it out, or do you think he'll get sacked before like that happens?
Question.
Right now, I don't have
And in the chat,
faith.
answer that as well.
I don't have faith in
bring
him
you, Pep,
working
I'll
it
bring you.
out right now, because
join through the StreamYard.
every time he puts a new formation in, we win the first game, and after that it goes to shit. He changed the formation and the way we play against Real Madrid, we beat them. He kept the same thing against City, we got smashed. Then he reverted to the way we used to play before with the same lineup and his favorite son. We went on a losing and inconsistent streak. Yesterday, we played the 4-4-2. We beat Inter. I won't be surprised if Cody Gakpo is still injured. He plays the 4-4-2 again against Brighton. There'll probably be inconsistency there, and then he wouldn't know how to work it out against them. So right now, I don't believe he's going to get it right. No.
What about you, Nawaz?
I don't believe.
Yes or no? Does he sort it out, or does he get sacked first?
I think the fact that he has the backing of the board means he'll have enough time to sort it out.
That's another thing. I mean, okay, give your opinion though. I know what the board says. The board are going to back him anyway. We know that they chose him over Salah. So
yeah, I would also choose a manager over a 33-year-old player who will leave the club no matter what in the next 3 years. I would rather back a manager who has the potential to stay for 5 years minimum.
But does that manager have the potential to win the league without the player that won him the league?
I think people look at Pep cooking in the background. He's cooking. He's gonna be cooking more ways than one. No.
Oh wait.
It's all right, Pam. I've already dusted them. Man. These Liverpool lot. I've already dusted them.
Cooking.
Here we go.
Dusted what? Dusted Skamaka's boots.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, bro. Let him get some goals, man.
All right. I think. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Amazing. I can go over anything. I had one of the maddest days today. Had to brave the Canadian wilderness. The reason why I'm here is because I couldn't make it into work. It was that bad of a snowstorm, and I was that far up north. But MARESCA, I'm happy to talk about Liverpool. Inter, I actually watched them 2 games in a row and think they have some problems, which is why the game is a little easier for you guys. And I'm pro Salah, so I'm willing to make that argument.
Pro Salah.
I'm pro.
I saw Pam's video. Yeah.
What? You know what's crazy? He's my favorite op, and he's going out too sad. I see Liverpool fans hating on him, and I'm like, that's my job. That's my job. You're stealing my occupation. So now I have to.
Occupation.
I've got kids to feed.
Bro, I can't make it into work. You know, the snow's
I see you muted that.
I can't hate on Mohamed Salah. I can't prop Eden Hazard for him.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Right? Okay. Let me just get this food going. But with Liverpool, I watched them against Inter as well as the Atalanta game with Chelsea. I have some tactical issues with Chelsea, but with Liverpool, I feel like you guys got a little lucky. Inter's biggest issue this season is they have zero creativity. It's all down the wings, Denzel Dumfries and Di Marco, and crossing it into Thuram, and sometimes a chance will fall to Lautaro. Alisson made a really good save just before the half from one of those chances, but their main creative threat is probably Barella, but Barella is more of a box-to-box 8. He's not a 10. And Petar Sucic as well, they brought him in. They've trusted him less and less. He was mid against AC Milan where they lost there. So ever since then, they went with Zielinski. None of those guys are mass chance creators. So I think that's a huge issue with them. I think that they were still able to exploit space.
By the way, you're still mute on TikTok.
Wait, let me unmute.
I think the guy's trying to hear what you're saying.
Yeah,
there we go.
Sorry, guys, I missed out on so much knowledge right now, but don't worry, he's still got a lot more.
That just means check out the YouTube. But
check out the YouTube for the full volume.
But I think that Liverpool got away with one, and that was not a penalty in my opinion. That was way too.
It was never. It wasn't a pen. Even me as a Liverpool fan,
it was not a pen. And and it took him a little too long to disallow that handball.
Way too long.
Ekitike
Way
had.
too long.
Way too
It
long.
ended up just being like a 50-50. Okay, let me just decide yes, no, because they
But
just
it
went
looked
to
at
the
the
ref
wrong
after
angle
that.
for ages.
That
the
ref-
angle behind that didn't look like it, and then the one on the side, you can see it was evidently a handball. It was like, why are you looking at the wrong one for so long?
That ref was a mafioso. That ref was a mafioso for sure. He was La Cosa Nostra. Speaking of which, I mean, come on. But that was ridiculous. That being said, I mean, you got to take the good results for Slot. It's a massive win, right?
It's a massive win. It's a big win for him with all the pressure he's currently happening.
I'll pose a question to Prem, because Prem obviously said he's pro Salah. So I want to know exactly what makes you pro Salah and how wrong is Slot? Is Slot right in any way?
I think first of all, I think that Slot as a man manager has had some issues in the past with other players, younger players that have had to leave. I forget their names. I think it was the likes of like Kwanzaa, Morton, and a couple others. So that already kind of is a demonstration that it's not an isolated incident with Arne Slot. But I feel like the bigger issue that Mohamed Salah has is he already had to speak out and defend himself last season with the contract situation. Hey, I'm balling, and I've not had any communication. If they said to him, hey, we're going to move on from you after this season, that's it, we're done. Like, tell him anything. But instead, they were almost kind of like dragging him along and shuffling their feet. And it's kind of a similar situation here where apparently he's not had communication with Arne Slot as to why he was dropped, from the squad entirely, which, by the way, it's a very similar conversation to when people try and say, oh, Chelsea are better without Cole Palmer. If your system requires you to leave out a player like Mohamed Salah completely, if your system benefits from having a player of Cole Palmer's abilities not be included, you got the wrong system. So let's start off with that first. Steven Gerrard made a great point, which is I feel like the best solution is with Mohamed Salah, not without him. But for there to be no communication, for this to have been one of multiple occurrences, and for him to be the one that's dropped when there's other players around him that are performing just as poorly with way less credit in the bank, I understand his frustration. Now, he's a smart guy. He's going to use his circumstances in his favor. Would he have spoke out if Liverpool got that win against Leeds? I don't think so. But guess what? Arne Slot exercised his power. He exercised his authority. And sometimes in this life, you got to exercise yours too. So I back Mohamed Salah. I think that what Carragher said was a complete joke. I think that was ego. I think that was an ego-driven, almost megalomaniacal rant in an attempt to create a narrative around Mohamed Salah and try and use Carragher's own like accent, where he's from, claiming my club, even though he grew up as an Everton fan, which I think is hilarious. Trying to make it seem like Mohamed Salah was nothing before Liverpool, even though Liverpool were Manchester United now, before Klopp came in, and then subsequently Salah, who helped elevate them into one of the best clubs in the world, one of the biggest global football brands again. It's just what Carragher did was wrong. Carragher should apologize to that man. And I think that Arne Slot created this situation for himself. He already, him in the hierarchy, took this guy on a ride. They tried it again. Don't be surprised when he speaks out.
But I think we spoke about it, Hamza and myself also. The fact that he picked and chose this moment just shows, that he obviously has his own personal agendas and stuff. I think as a leader of the club, Jamie Carragher was calling him out earlier, saying that he should have spoken. I don't think it is the responsibility of Salah to speak, as much as he is one of the leaders of the football club. But to choose this moment now, I think it's more him throwing his toys out of instead of him actually genuinely asking, I'm here to help the team. I'm here, like I can help you guys.
I think he's here to help the team, but he's here to help the team if he's the one helping the team.
Yeah, he's the main guy.
It's like in the NFL when an NFL wide receiver is complaining on the sidelines. Well, of course he is. You have a better chance of winning the game if you throw the ball to that guy.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But I think I spoke to Hamza also, saying that Salah wasn't dropped for someone better or for someone in a similar position. Salah was dropped because okay, you quickly lack in it. Salah was dropped because Arne Slot is under pressure and he is trying to figure out a system that can help Liverpool win games again. And I guess having the best player for Liverpool this season so far in Soboslai being at the I'm sorry, we all know Soboslai has been Liverpool's best player.
No, I read the comment. It was so nonsense.
Oh, because okay. No, I was just saying. So what's Soboslai being that right attacking midfielder instead of Salah, and Slot almost changing up the system to accommodate for an extra midfielder instead of having, another striker or having a winger there. Salah wasn't dropped because of you're not performing. It's more Slot. Okay, might be a combination, but it's more Slot trying to figure out a new system, and Salah just wasn't in there. I think Salah can actually be in this new system, this current one, the one against Inter, as a right striker.
I think even feeding off what Pav said, it was, I think the point from Salah is being that high and such a high performer for so many years for Liverpool, and then you realize that you're still not winning, even with him being on the bench. And as I said, if we won that Leeds game, it's a different story. But him knowing the amount of success he has, and especially what he did last season, I mean, you remember how excited this man was to win the league, as he said, without Klopp, without Mane, without Bobby. He said it in his interview. So he wanted to prove that he could also do it without having all of them there as well, and that whole front three. Now that the fact that he's done it, and now we are not winning and he's still on the bench for 3 games in a row. I don't agree, obviously, with the way he came out and communicated this. But Arne Slot, I feel, has a bigger problem than just Salah. I believe that there are other players within the club that are also having issues, but Salah maybe just had the balls to speak out because he feels that he has enough credit and has done enough for the club. So he can do that now and be like, hey, don't forget everything I've done. There are worse players than me, like Konate, who literally still plays. Is that maybe because Liverpool don't have enough depth in the squad, so he still has to play in and out every week? If we had more depth, does he still play? The likes of how the person who I feel maybe should have opened his mouth is Chiesa. Saves the man his job versus Sunderland, and then after that plays 0 minutes the next game. If anyone should have spoken, I think it is Chiesa that should have said something. But you look at it, I think there's more people that are unhappy apart from Salah. But because of Salah's ego and what he's done and been that important for Liverpool, he's like, don't forget who I am.
Liverpool's issues are also, it's the build-up structure and it's the defensive structure. Neither of those things have to do with Mohamed Salah. If anything, part of the reason why his dribbling has been so poor is because he's getting the ball out wide.
Yeah,
it's not when he's moving inside. And even when I'm watching the game yesterday, I'm thinking to myself, like, the midfield dynamics are screwed. Gravenberch and McAllister, unless you have Szoboszlai with them, are not combative enough. They don't win the ball enough.
Yes,
and I think that Gravenberch is a very mediocre progressor of the football. I think that McAllister is like a B+ player in terms of his attributes. Like, if you think, like, man, what's McAllister really good at? It's like, well, he's good here, but he's not great at anything. My thing is, I think that Liverpool's actual solution, the real solution, is go to a back 5. You go with 3 center backs, Van Dijk in the middle, Gomez, Konate. The problem is it's difficult because you have only few center backs. Leone is out. And then that's where you can accommodate defensively for Kirkes on one side, Frimpong on the other side. You keep Gravenberch in the pivot, because what Slot tried to do in the preseason was he tried to drop Gravenberch from a defensive midfielder into a center back in possession as a halfback. Didn't work because he does not have the combativeness in those midfield dynamics in the pivot that remains. So then you have to keep Gravenberch there. You keep McAllister there, which is still, in my opinion, a mediocre pivot. And then you have Ekitike, left-sided forward. Salah, right-sided forward. Isak, striker, or you put Ekitike in the striker and you put Wirtz in that left-sided 10 pocket, which I think that he can work in. That for me is the solution. If I was the coach, that's what I would go. And it's still not great because I still think that the quality. I was not high on Kirkes when he was signed. I was not high on Frimpong when he was signed. I thought that Wirtz, I thought Cherki and Palmer were better. At Ekitike, I was a fan of. Isak, I thought was an overrated buy. But that's what I'm saying is I think that that's where you fix both the defensive problems, where you have enough bodies back, and you keep the progressive dynamics. And if Szoboszlai needs to be a right wing back, play him as a right wing back. If you have a midfield 3 and you have Dominic Szoboszlai going into the right 10. Instead, move him out wide. Let him be the wide outlet and let Mohamed Salah move inside.
I think you can't play Szoboszlai right back because you're essentially
He has too much to offer.
He's moving
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, you're making two
I
positions.
think right now, as Slot has said before, people know how to play against Liverpool now. Mohamed Salah is so out wide. You got two defenders on him already. He doesn't cut in and take on the player anymore. And Liverpool are now obsessed with this whole crossing technique. I don't know how many headers we've scored from this whole crossing technique where Salah doesn't dribble or take on the players. I believe you play Salah more in a striker or an inside forward role, and you'll get so much more from him than playing him completely out wide. I said it before, the players that Liverpool lost were more important than the players we brought in. People like Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz were the high pressing machines for Liverpool that allowed Salah that freedom to run forward and not do defensive tracking. No one in that Liverpool team from the signings we had are high press machines apart from Szoboszlai that goes for the ball in that way. So in the
I'm going to disagree. You can finish up there. I
think that they're not as good as Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz with the way they used to do it, but I think Salah could play in the 4-4-2. In the way we played with that pivot yesterday, play him more as an attacking player this time, adjust his position from being so out wide, and it could genuinely help us. But I agree with the Szoboszlai part. He has to play as an engine because he does too much in the mid.
He does too much in the midfield, yeah. But sorry, Prem, I was going to say, I think Liverpool this season, because I'm gonna respond to Nikhil because it's something you mentioned also about Liverpool signings not really kicking off this season. We need to have patience, first of all. I was telling Hamza also that we are only 15 games in the league and obviously not even out of the group stages. And Liverpool this season, they definitely have better players than last season. People are forgetting just because of how good Luis Diaz has been this season, how terrible he was at the back end of his Liverpool career last season. As much as he had his best goal scoring form, people are forgetting that when he came to the season prior, when we were in title races, this guy wasn't the most clinical. There was that one-on-one against Manchester City at Anfield or the Etihad, where he absolutely puts it wide. Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, I don't even have to mention them not being clinical because there are a number of opportunities that we can mention and reference. Just because Luis Diaz is doing well now doesn't mean he was doing well at Liverpool at the same level. But Liverpool this season, I think we just need to figure out how to play all of these players together. And I feel like this 4-4-2 diamond is definitely the best option. I was telling Hamza, if Slot was willing to rotate between Ekitike and Isak, it means he can still use that. He can still do that same mentality. Have Salah as the right striker, have Isak or Ekitike as the left striker. You can still play with Frimpong when he becomes fit because now you'll have enough midfield cover. Szoboszlai as that right central midfielder that can cover for Frimpong when he goes up. And then you can have, I would say, Florian Wirtz as the 10. You just need to have someone that can actually do the yards on the left-hand side. Because like you said, McAllister and Gravenberg, good players, not great players, but good players. You put them next to someone like a Caicedo, who is that ball-winning CDM. Then they go up a level. They definitely would go up a level if they have a defensive-minded midfielder next to it. I think right now, it's patience.
Here's my thing. If Sobo's work rate is so valuable, which it is, you have to pick which 10 spot you want to play him in. Are you going to play him in the right 10 over Mohamed Salah, or are you going to play him in the left 10 over Florian Wirtz? Take your pick.
You can still play. You can play with all three of them. Salah right striker.
In the new system, I was thinking of the other system. But
sorry to disturb, but Vinny Jr. is just crying right now because they got a penalty cancelled for Real Madrid.
I saw that.
Everything penalty or Real Madrid.
Oh yeah, I forgot that the Champions League is on. So actually, we can probably start wrapping
Madrid
this live
City.
bubble. So
Madrid City,
one of us ought to probably watch that. Yeah. So I'll just leave. Closing remarks for everyone. Closing remarks.
I'll tell my funny story of me in the wilderness. So basically, I was supposed to go to work today, and this is
that's a good way to end it.
And this is me at 5 a.m. in the morning, by the way. And anyone who lives out in the cold knows there's two types of winter.
We don't know what cold is. Yeah, in South Africa.
Yeah, we're from Africa, mate.
There's dry cold and then there's wet cold. Wet cold feels fine. It feels like you can go out in a t-shirt, but it snows and it's wet and everything is slippery. And I was driving, swerving, having a break, and I drive an hour and a half up north. I'm way up north from where I live. And all around me is just white. I have one lane, the person coming towards me has one lane, and you look around and you cannot see the horizon line. That's how heavily it's snowing. So I was just looking around and I was like, I'm going to get hit. Because when you go up north as well, it's all pickup trucks, naturally so, because otherwise you can't drive. You're going to get caught in the snow. So all you Europeans that like to make fun of the cars over here on this side of the planet, there's a reason behind that. So there is. So at one point I just had to call my boss and I was like, listen, like I can probably make it, but one bad move and I'm toast. Because I'm not just going to get smoked. I'm going to get smoked by a pickup truck. And I was only going like 30 kilometers an hour because if I went any faster, I couldn't brake. So, yeah, I headed all the way back around when I did leg day. Stressful. Yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, I didn't need coffee for that. My brain was on. Because otherwise, if I don't pay attention for even a second, I'm cooked. But yeah, that's my story.
That's crazy. Sounds crazy. That was a good closing remark from Mr. Big Prem himself. I'll give it to you know, the World Cup is in that country, by the way. All of that scenario, World Cup will be there in a couple of months.
Toronto's fine.
Will be gone by then.
Yeah, Toronto's fine.
Oh, someone scored.
No. Vinny came this close.
Yeah, Vinny was close. That was a good ball.
Guys, there's no TV here by me, so I'm going to have to end this listen. I can watch this game also.
But
okay, so
on your point, I think you made a good. There was one thing I wanted to pick up on, but I've completely forgot what you said. But I agree with what you're saying about Carragher. I do kind of get like it was a bit personal what you were saying. And yeah, he is probably loving the whole like being English and whatever. But that is the sentiment of Liverpool fans. Like I live maybe like 2 hours away from Liverpool. Like and even I've heard from my friends that are in Liverpool that the whole sentiment that Jamie Carragher had was essentially what all of Liverpool, like people in Liverpool in the city, that's the sentiment that they had. It's almost like this is our club. We're playing terribly. You've only been out for 3 games. Why the hell are you coming out and like making it even worse for us? You know. So I think it does come across a bit agendery, but like I can say from knowing people in Liverpool, that is genuinely how they feel. You know. So I think he was just representing them, and it came across in a bit more of an emotional way. But I think
mentioning the Egypt and Chelsea thing was
mentioning Egypt.
I think that was to prove a point, though.
AFCON, like I mean,
the Egypt thing was silly, but the Chelsea thing wasn't, because that is literally how he was looked at, right? But the Egypt thing like removes the context of like why they've been terrible for the last 10 years. You know, they were good like what in like the 2000s.
I mean, they had so much to say, but like when Salah is scoring these famous commentaries, Salah, you little dancer, he's screaming and celebrating and things, and like now obviously when it's my club, whatever, then you're going to talk a player down like that. Like I don't get it. I mean,
but he made that situation for himself. Like that's what I don't get. Why people are complaining? He made that situation for himself by talking.
But then after the UCL match, where he even commented, "I hope that we win," and then let's go, lads. I love Mohamed Salah, one of the best. I love him as a player. I love this. Then he's glazing him all of a sudden. Like pick a side. Like, do you either want to talk a player down, or how do you want to behave?
I think he was talking the action down rather than the player.
It's just
I didn't read it as like he's saying Salah's a bad player.
Oh no, I think he definitely. I don't know. It looked like it. It looked like maybe a bad player right now, but he definitely tried to tell Salah like, you were nothing until you came to Liverpool.
Until you came to Liverpool, like Liverpool made you.
Yeah, Liverpool never made him. He helped Liverpool also. Liverpool and him. That's why no one is completely right. No one is completely wrong in this whole situation.
Bro, when Carragher was trying to pull that Chelsea and Egypt thing, it just gave me vibes of, we made you. Lay down, boy. That type of shit right there.
Which isn't the case because Salah helped Liverpool so much. Like, you have to give Salah his flowers.
I mean, you have to. I mean, the GA for 8 years in a row is crazy. It's absolutely insane. Where would we be without his goals and assists? Like, literally, where would we be?
Yeah.
So,
but like, one thing I do want to let the
where would we be without Jamie Carragher's own goals? Where would we be?
Nah, I wouldn't say disrespect him as a player though. Like he was a big guy for your club, bro, for a long period of time.
Yeah,
but fair enough. A big guy. I think the kills just giving medicine.
100%, because I mean, it's like he fed on Salah saying that he'll call him out and say something.
Yeah, he probably did get a hard on from that. But...
Yeah, for sure. Boys, this was a lovely stream as always. I think we maintained a healthy number of 35 to 40. It kept on staying there for a while, so that's very good. I'm very interested to see the stats for this one. The YouTube live also was quite good. Pav, thanks again. Once always a pleasure having you here. I think by the way,
meeting you, Pav.
Nice to meet you.
I was about to say this is the first time we're meeting Sing on the Cop. He's also one of our panel members. Liverpool
Nice to
fan,
meet you, bro.
from his side.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, man.
And if you didn't know already, Sing on the Cop, Nikhil Pav is a Chelsea fan.
Yeah. No, I watched 1 or 2 of the videos with him and Hamza. So yeah, it was quite nice.
Why are you calling him Skamaka?
Oh my god! Didn't we beat you
just gracious.
2-1 like literally 4 weeks ago and 3-1 last year? Like, how many times do I have to bring this up, bro?
Hey,
How many times?
What was the score?
5-2 over 2 games.
See, I know you're going through depression because you wish you could trade the lap for Nicholas Jackson, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm happy you've learned. Yeah,
It's okay.
I don't know when is the last time Chelsea won us at Wembley.
Chelsea was Liverpool in finals. I think he's probably still crying of the Lukaku offside, the Werner offside.
The Lukaku onside, you mean? The Lukaku onside.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Will we take those? It's all right, lads. It's all right. I can't say anything to you because you're Liverpool. You know what I mean? You won more Champions Leagues than us. I can't say anything. I mean, we've won more Premier Leagues than you.
Yeah, we
Bring
won
out
more
your
Premier
5
Leagues.
Premier Leagues, bro. Bring out your 5 Premier Leagues.
So that means you're the only team in the
Bring
world.
out your 15-goal season, bro. Every time we've got 90 points, we've won the league. You lot little cucks, bro. You get 98 points, you don't win the
It's
league.
not our fault.
You lot are cucks, bro. Get in that chair. Get in that chair in the hotel room.
We have 2 campaigns that have more points than your highest ever point tally.
Yeah, bro.
One of
You
those
only won the league
guys-
once, bro. Put the fries in the bag, man.
Salah great and outside. Okay, let's end this stream quickly.
Yeah.
On all of these notes because otherwise we'll be talking for way too long.
Great.
And I want to watch Vinny Junior cry. So we're gonna have to end it there. But guys, you already know Prem de la Creme every Wednesday and Sunday. Pav is obviously gonna be a very consistent guest as well. We might just add him to the panel.
Nice.
We'll discuss. We'll call you. We'll have conversation.
Wednesdays I'm at work. This was definitely an extraordinary circumstance, but still, I'll let you guys know.
Maybe for 1 or 2 clips.
Follow the page. Follow the page. The Prem de la Creme
Follow the
page.
page.
Follow that.
Yeah, I'll give you a follow as well, Pav.
Got it. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
We'll talk. We'll offer you a bag. Just don't be like Salah and Aubameyang and start underperforming after.
I'll switch up on all
Greenwood.
my day ones. Do not worry. I'll switch up on
Amazing,
all my
amazing.
day ones.
Cool. I'm gonna end the live on TikTok. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And see you guys on Sunday's stream. Take care. Okay, I'm ending it there. Ending this one.